This is my 1981 C1500, and over the past year we have done a ton of work to it, including a full engine overhaul. In the last episode, we got the interior all back together. So you might be thinking to yourself, this thing is done, it's complete. Well, if you'd been following along with the project, you know we have one more major thing to do before this truck is roadworthy. This thing is absolutely leaking oil like a sieve. And in today's video, hopefully we're gonna fix that for good. So I've got good news and I've got bad news. And I think it'll just be easier to bring you guys with me and show you what I found. So if you come underneath the truck, what I was expecting to find was a nice and wet rear main seal area right there. And when I looked up in here and saw that it was relatively dry, it didn't have any of the characteristics of a rear main seal leak. So I did a little bit of investigation, and that's where the good news comes in. Now, I didn't film it, but I had this thing run on the hoist for a little bit, and we were getting some pretty serious leakage coming from both of the back sides of the heads where the valve covers are. So I came up top thinking, maybe I'm gonna get lucky and the bolts on here for the hold downs have just loosened off a bit on both sides. Likely, no, but I tried it anyways. And guess what? All 4 bolts on both valve covers were not tight enough. I don't know if it's because of the heat cycling or because I just didn't tighten them enough to begin with, but after snugging all of those bolts up and after a really quick boot around the block, as you can see, although there's a tiny bit of residual oil, which is normal from how much this thing has been leaking, we aren't getting any more drippy drippies here. That's the end of the good news. The bad news is, although it was a no parts required fix on the engine oil leak, we actually discovered 2 more leaks. One minor and one potentially major. And let's start with the minor leak. As you can see, there's a little bit of fluid here along this transmission cross member. And this fluid stanks. So it's clearly gear oil from the transmission. And from the looks of it, pretty obviously, it's coming from the speedometer cable. This should hopefully be a simple fix. Just pull that end out. I couldn't find like an OEM replacement O-ring for in there, so I just kind of threw an O-ring in that I had. If I remember correctly, there might even be 2 O-rings in here, but that's not a huge deal. We can pull that apart and mess with that pretty easily. The second leak, and when I say potentially major leak, is this leak right here. And this, although it doesn't smell like crap, it tastes very sweet, which means it's coolant. I can't tell exactly where it's coming from. Obviously the water pump area. As you guys remember, we did have a leak coming from the water pump when we first filled this system up with coolant. Not sure if it's the same leak that has returned, but obviously it's leaking pretty dang good. So let's go ahead and chuck the pressure tester on this system and see if we can spot where this leak is coming from. Get out our handy dandy coolant pressure tester. And we're gonna pump this sucker up to probably about 15 PSI. These older systems, they don't take too much pressure. I think I can already hear it leaking. So let's do some investigation here. Basically what we're looking for is this to hold pressure over an extended period of time. Technically, a cooling system should be 100% sealed. A lot of the modern systems, you could leave this thing basically on overnight and it shouldn't budge. These older systems, they got a little bit of leeway, but technically this thing should not drop at all. Well, I think I found the cause. You can see there's a little bit of crusties there on the back side of the water pump. So what I did was I came up here with my inspection camera, and there's our leak, baby. Out of the back side of the water pump. Fun stuff. So I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit, see if the bolts on the back side of that aren't tight for some reason. But it's pretty much gonna be next to impossible to film. And I'm probably gonna get pretty frustrated and you guys won't wanna see that. So let me come back to you when I have a solution that hopefully doesn't involve pulling the water pump back off. After fiddling around for this with way too much time, I probably spent an hour just one turn at a time trying to get these bolts on the back side of that right up against the timing cover. This is what I came up with right here. We did end up having to sacrifice an Allen key and cut it to make it a stubby like this. And then I was using these vice grips to kind of fish this down in behind that water pump and ever so slowly turn those Allen key bolts. I don't know why this high flow water pump company that's building these things is using Allen keys. I think it's a bit ridiculous. Why not just stick with the 10 millimeters that these used to be? I got all 6 of these bolts quite a bit tighter than they were. So I'm hoping that that's it and that fixes our leak. We're gonna go ahead and go underneath, spray it all off. And then that way when we take it for its first drive, we can put it back up on the hoist afterwards and just confirm that we have no more leaks. I also went ahead and pulled the bullet out of the back of the transmission where that speedometer cable hooks up. And we did, in fact, find a split O-ring on there. So I just replaced the O-ring on that sucker, stuck her back in, put the speedometer cable back on. And again, we're gonna spray it all off. And then after the test drive, we'll check to make sure that we have no more leaks. Before I leave you with the first driving footage with the new exhaust as well as leak-free, yes, that is right, we have confirmed we finally have no more leaks at the moment. I just want to sit down and say thank you guys so much for watching. Technically, this truck's version 2.0 that I've been calling it is 100% complete. This is probably how I'm going to enjoy this thing for the rest of the summer. Yes, it still has a couple of quirks, but we're basically already a third of the way through the summer. And if I fix everything on this truck right now, I'm not going to have anything to do this upcoming winter. Plus, I just want to get out and enjoy this thing. If there's a couple small issues with it, it's not a huge deal. It's a 45-year-old truck. It's literally never going to be perfect. As this build series winds down and we transition into some new stuff that I got coming up on the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button because I got some stuff lined up in the future that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys with the sweet, sweet sounds of this 350 going down the road. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Well, here goes nothing. Hopefully, after all of this work, this thing can just stay leak-free. But we're gonna find out. But man, oh man, does she ever sound rowdy. We'll probably just take a couple back roads. You guys can hear this thing in action. And maybe we'll take a stroll through town, see if we can get some exhaust footage banging off of the walls downtown. Just something about those old small blocks. They got that very distinct rasp to them. It's kind of the opposite of a lot of other exhaust systems. On these, I feel like the rasp actually complements them. And noise level too, spot on. Pretty much exactly the noise level that I wanted putting these mufflers on this thing. When you get into it, man, do they ever wake up. And when you're just cruising like this, low RPM, hardly any drone, just a nice rumble. Guys, I'm stoked. And we'll let this thing warm up a little bit, and we can give you a couple good pulls. You guys can really hear this thing. Got that potato cam, man. Potato, 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 potato. Those construction workers next. I feel like you hear something like this, the lumpy idle pull up and go to look and see what it is, and you see this. I don't know what you think, to be honest. And it's not like the crazy 60s small blocks that were putting out freaking 300 plus horsepower, but by the engine code, this thing is a 255 horse model. Even before I put the hog ass cam in it, she was pretty stout. Obviously this truck being a single cab, doesn't weigh a whole ton, single cab, 2-wheel drive. It's not fast by any means, but even before the cam was in it, she got up and went as long as she had traction, because she's a 1-wheel peeler right now. I'd love to put an LSD, well, I should literally say, I'd love to put a posi in this thing. I usually hate when people use the word posi as a substitute for an LSD, but on something like this, you literally can use the word posi. It's appropriate. I keep wondering why people are looking at me funny. Probably because I got a GoPro strapped to my head. Rolling through the suburbs at a loud ass 1981 Chev. I get ahead of this Cybertruck so he can smell the freedom that he's not used to. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys hear this thing. I'm also gonna let this Tesla behind us hear it, because I think he deserves to, driving something like that around, man. My poor neighbors.